What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Red Mug Music. The initial idea of today's video is I was going to do a reconstruction, and if you don't know what that is, I take an album and I move stuff around, add songs, take songs away, pretty much play with whatever I have available and try to make an album better. But I really don't want to do that. I don't think it's necessary to do that for this album. And today's album, what we're going to do is we're going to rediscover Let's Dance by David Bowie. So let's do it. But before we go on, take just 1 second and just click that little like. Just like the video if you enjoy the channel. And you can even share it if you want to. If there may be somebody out there that doesn't know this channel exists that wants to and just doesn't know it yet. So like the video, share it. That would be awesome. Thanks. I'm going to be honest with you. I've not been the biggest David Bowie fan over the years, but I have a deep appreciation for David Bowie. As you know, I am a Duran Duran fan, and it's going to be kind of difficult to be a Duran Duran fan, like a real fan, without noticing the influences from David Bowie and the world surrounding David Bowie. So you really have no choice but to kind of delve into his world and just kind of look around. And so that's what I did. And I saw this album and I wanted to check it out. And today we're going to look at it. Let's talk about the album first. Let's Dance came out in 1983. And of course we have David Bowie. By what I saw, this was the first album that he actually didn't play any instruments at all. He just sang and left all the instruments up to everybody else. And here is everybody else. Well, first we have Nile Rodgers. Nile Rodgers produced this album, and he also played a lot of rhythm guitar on it as well. So you definitely hear Nile Rodgers throughout the album. And this was a shocker to me. And again, I'm not the biggest David Bowie follower, even though I appreciate it, but I had no idea that Stevie Ray Vaughan was the lead guitarist throughout this whole album. This is pretty much before he became popular or well known, and maybe this is what did it for him. I'm not sure, but it sounds Stevie Ray Vaughan sounds magnificent throughout this whole album. Bass, we have Carmine Rojas and also Bernard Edwards, but I think he only played bass on the song called Without You. Drums, we have Sheik Tony Thompson and also Omar Hakim. And those are that is your lineup on this whole album, which a lot of those names are extremely popular and well-known musicians. So
I'm kind of a big deal.
Good stuff. So let's talk about the first song, which is called Modern Love. This song, as everyone knows, we all know this song, has absolutely no weaknesses whatsoever. It has a very, very heavy drum. And it was recorded at the Power Station in New York, and which is well known for offering a very good drum sound. And actually, that's where the band Power Station recorded their album. That's where they got their name. And as you know, Tony Thompson is the drummer, and it's an extremely heavy drum sound. But I love David Bowie's vocals. It's so amazing, and it's so melodic, and has all this power. You're either going to hear like a very draggy David Bowie, a very breathy or powerful and melodic vocal throughout the whole album. And I think that's why I like this album more than a lot of his others, because it is a little bit more commercial, which offers a little bit more of a melodic sound. Because I think without the melodies, it's really hard to have a commercial album. It's hard for the masses to like it as much. And up to this album, he wasn't as popular as he was after the release of this album. So it did it for him. But I can tell you, during this time, if you were a DJ and you didn't play this song, like at every nightclub, like every time you worked, you needed to be fired, because this was the kind of song that got people excited and very good dance tune. And this is the one song, or one of the songs by David Bowie, where we all become backup singers, because he's feeding us during the chorus every line. So tell me I'm wrong that you don't sing backup to David Bowie. It's an amazing song. So we're definitely off to a good start. Song number two. This one's the uncomfortable song. China Girl. China Girl was recorded as an ultra pop song. That was an idea of Nile Rodgers, and Nile Rodgers assumed this song was about drugs, and he thought it would be a good idea if he, being that the meaning of the whole song was about drugs and not an actual China girl, which the video would beg to differ. He thought it would be a really good idea to make it as popular sounding and as poppy and upbeat as possible when the actual meaning of the song was doing drugs. And it pleased David Bowie. He thought it was great, because it was so taboo. And, bringing something like this into the commercial world was, it's just kind of an inside joke. And I would imagine most people still have no idea that the song is about drugs. But I can tell you, no matter what the meaning is, because, doing drugs is very well accepted in today's culture. But what's not accepted in today's culture is talking about people of specific races. So I guarantee this song from 1983 would absolutely not fly today in today's culture. He would have been canceled. The song would have been canceled. The album would have been canceled. It would have been the end of David Bowie's career just because he talks about a China girl. And yeah, but it's about drugs, so it's okay. Song number 3 is called Let's Dance. Let's Dance. Now, we've heard the song so many times, we don't realize what we're hearing. And, when you actually think about it, it starts out with this, 50s, kind of build up, from the doo-wop era. And it quickly moves into that very heavy drum that's, you get from the power station. And you get these heavy horn sections, which will complete that 50s sound. And it has a really good sound to it. I mean, especially in the 80s, resorting back to the 50s or 60s was, well, actually in the 80s, a lot of people resorted back to the 50s, a lot of horns. And then if you remember in the 90s, everybody resorted back to the 70s. So when exactly did we go back to the 60s? Have we ever done that? But you hear Nile Rodgers, like very familiar guitar. He's strumming away, and then it's topped off with Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar. This is an instant classic. This was a fantastic song. And when I listen to Let's Dance, I'm very often reminded of music from Notorious by Duran Duran. So apparently, we all know that David Bowie influenced Duran Duran, but I hear it, especially in the horns. Okay, the next song on the album is, and actually the last song on the first side, which I don't know if you've noticed, and this is why I thought I would do a reconstruction, because if you look at this song, or if you look at this album, actually I lost it. Side 1 is Modern Love, China Girl, Let's Dance, and Without You, which are all the songs that were released. Nothing from side 2 was released. So I thought maybe it should have been in a better order than that, because surely they knew what songs they were going to release, but I guess maybe not. But the next song, the last song on the first side, is called Without You. And the first thing I notice is Bernard Edwards' bass guitar. You just have to notice that. But it also reminds me of Roxy Music, and I didn't look it up if he ever played with or in, or I don't know if there's any kind of influences surrounding Roxy Music. Maybe so. Comment down below if you know if there's any connections between Bernard Edwards and Roxy Music. And I'm very much so getting into Roxy Music as well. My favorite album so far is Country Life. Great. And I need to talk about that one day. We need to rediscover Country Life because it is fantastic by Roxy Music. But again, you have Nile Rodgers on rhythm guitar and Stevie Ray Vaughan on lead. And also, Bernard Edwards, Tony Thompson, David Bowie. This is a super group. This is an amazing super group. It's really, really super good stuff. But I don't think this song should have been released. It was the 4th single off the album, and I think the best it did was like number 73 in the U.S. So it's a good song, but I don't think it was worth a release. And it's right over a 3-minute song. So I don't know. It didn't really work. All right, let's flip the album over and look at the first song on the second side, or what would actually be the 5th song on the album, called Ricochet. Trying to find it here. Ricochet is probably my favorite released song on this album. And according to David Bowie, Ricochet had an ungainly gait, and the song just did not flow the way that he thought it should or intended for it to be. And I think this was basically the work of Nile Rodgers. They just didn't really see eye to eye on how this song should sound. And he likes the song, but it didn't really come out the way he wanted it to. And if you listen to it, it's definitely got a strange beat to it, but I like it. And I actually, whenever I was going to do a reconstruction, this was going to be the first song on the album. And I find it intriguing, and I think it would have been a really good song for an opening act, because it seems like it just builds so much anticipation, and it's like a 7-minute long inhale. And then the second song on the album that I would reconstruct would have been something like Let's Dance, which would have been like a really nice payoff. And then we could have went from there. I think that would have been very satisfying, but I didn't do that. But Ricochet, love this song. Criminal World develops into something extremely special to me, in my opinion. And the horn section catches me off guard every time. And it's hard, you may miss it, but listen to the song and listen to, the horns. It's so well done. But besides the very familiar, guitar by Stevie Ray Vaughan, the bass guitar, I think, drives the song really well and pushes it forward and gives the song so much attitude. So I end up finding myself liking Criminal World more than I would expect. Really good. The 7th song on the album is called Cat People. This is a Moroder track, actually, if you didn't know that. But it offers like a very wild but melodic David Bowie vocal, which I really enjoy that. And what makes the song really good, in my opinion, are the drums. The very heavy drum, driven by this blues guitar by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Without looking it up, I remember listening to Cat People, and I thought, I hear John Mayer. I mean, when I listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, it sounds like John Mayer. So I assume, without looking it up, comment down below if you know, John Mayer's, I'm sure, just by genre alone, was heavily influenced by Stevie Ray Vaughan, but the style was definitely quite similar as well. So Cat People, another really good track. And the last song on the album is called Shake It. I think we're ending the album kind of on a bad foot. I'm not a big fan of Shake It. I find it hard to digest when it starts, when the song comes on. But I do enjoy like that swingish beat in the feel of the song. And I very often hear these kind of mistakes made in Duran Duran music where the song is good, but it starts off wrong. It's almost like, we're taking some instrument, keyboard or horn or whatever it is that should be just in the mix, in the middle of the song, and we're starting with that sound as though it's a good hook, and it's not a good hook. And I think that's what's happening here with Shake It. It's just not a good sound to start it with. It could have been done better. So I think it was a little bit of a missed opportunity. And the problem with that is people will instantly just turn it off and not listen to the whole song, which they will miss out because it's a good song. And as you listen to it, it gets better and better and better, but it does remain a little thin. I think it stays one-dimensional the whole time. So it just, with all the problems that I see that it has, I just don't really enjoy the song that well. So at best, it's a good song, not a great song. And the last thing you want to do, I just shook my camera. The last thing you want to do is end an album with a mediocre song or the worst song on the album. And again, doing a reconstruction for this album would have been a really good idea. Actually, I'll tell you exactly the order that I would have put this in rather than making a whole entire album or video about it. I'll just let you know what that was. Okay, this is the reconstructed Let's Dance playlist. Ricochet, Let's Dance. Again, Ricochet and the payoff, Let's Dance. Without You, China Girl, Cat People, then Shake It, just to kind of put it in there somewhere that it's not the ending song, then Criminal World, and then Modern Love. I think we could have, sprinkled some hits throughout, and not even start the album with a big hit. You know, Ricochet, like I said, it's that build up and anticipation that you feel, and then boom. I think this particular song order or sequence would have paid off really well. So that's it. Those are my thoughts about Let's Dance, about David Bowie. Tell me if you like this album. So just out of curiosity, let me know what your favorite album by David Bowie is. Is it Let's Dance or is it something else? So comment down below and let me know what your favorite album is by David Bowie. I think it would be interesting to see what you guys like. It would be nice to know. I'm thinking it's Let's Dance for me, but the jury is still out. There's a lot more I need to listen to. But I can definitely tell you I have a deep appreciation for David Bowie, but I do like more of a melodic sound. And when he gets into the weirdness, I definitely appreciate it. I think he's just really trying to be artistic, and it pays off, but it's not exactly how I like to listen to music in all the time. But anyway, that's my thoughts about Let's Dance. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at RedMugMusic. I'm also on Instagram at RedMugMusic. And if you enjoyed what you saw, like the video, like and share. That would be great. I'd really appreciate it. So that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next time.